headlines last night. It said Kentucky Blues, Chris Dorr and Gene Chizik, Dari Noka. Is this what you were imagining?
Yeah, I mean, it's predictable after the way they lost that football game to Florida last week, the emotional letdown that's got to be there, and certainly against an Eastern Michigan defense that's pretty good, Coach.
Yeah. I just think, again, you look at this, the way they lost the game last week, this is a coach's worst nightmare, because when you let this – right now in the locker room at Eastern Michigan, they're talking about, hey, we can play with these dudes. Yeah. These guys are down. They're not what, they're, I guess, propped up to be. The bottom line is that they got to come out, they got to play with a lot.
See, this isn't just a game of inches.
We lived were different.
TV has been rated
ready for second.
Wednesday at 7 on the SEC Network, presented by Regions Bank.
All tied up at 7 as we get ready for second quarter football from the Commonwealth. Eastern Michigan 14 plays, 45 yards. Kentucky 15 plays, 71 yards. Pretty even on the time of possession. Thus, pretty even on the scoreboard. It is third down and 6 for the Eagles. Nice job by Roback just to be able to get that throw off. But Kentucky swarming to the football. Some of that team defense that Matt House was talking to us about. One of the aspects he loves about this group.
It's going to be difficult if you're going to be throwing towards Mike Edwards, especially when he's up on that line of scrimmage. He did a great job once again. Courtney Love was able to come in from his linebacking spot as well to clean up. Those are the two big playmakers at the second and third levels of this Kentucky defense. Mike Edwards, one of those guys that they almost don't ever want to take him off the field. That was something that Mark Stoops talked about. He has to work on a little bit better, is getting Edwards a little bit of a spell, let him get on the sideline and rest. Played almost every snap versus Florida.
Walker will let that one hit the turf. They will spot it around the 26-yard line. Hey, Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern on the SEC Network, SEC Inside will grant you an all-access pass to Tennessee football for their game against Georgia. You can see it also streaming live on the ESPN app. Always a great show. So Stephen Johnson leading the charge offensively. Of course, last week came up just shy. Really was a gutsy late drive to get him in field goal position, but of course the holding call pushed Kentucky back out of field goal range. And a little slip screen goes to Garrett Johnson, and he's out over the 40 to the 45-yard line, a pickup of 16.
Screen game's a big part of what Kentucky likes to do. This time they open up the possession. Nice release upfield by the offensive lineman. Garrett Johnson gets escorted into the secondary. Pummels his own center there at the end of it, trying to pick up a couple of extra yards. Great job by Drake Jackson getting downfield and getting a block.
The run pass option, big collision at the 42. Flags come in. That pass was caught for a gain of 12.
You said it, Dave, a run pass option, something they like to do a lot of. They will tag these run calls with a pass opportunity, and they trust Stephen Johnson to make the right decision. When those linebackers bite up towards the line of scrimmage, it opens up a window. You can jam a ball in there on a slant route.
Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 32.
15-yard penalty and an automatic first down. The previous play is under further review.
Juan Geraldo hits Charles Walker.
And all the indicators of targeting, you talk about, there's a little bit of a launch as one of the indicators that these officials are looking for. And by launch, they mean you leave your feet, launch into the receiver, the defenseless player. And you can see Geraldo didn't use his helmet, but it's to the head or neck area of the opponent. And you can see that it does seem like there is forcible contact above and into the head and neck area.
Boy, that replay gives you a pretty good indication. A huge hit.
It was a big hit. And you know, you see these, and the whole purpose of this targeting rule is to quite literally, you want to change where you're targeting these hits. It can't be to the head or neck area. They won't allow it. You can't be using a crown of your helmet. And it's that forcible contact language that was added to the rule. And obviously they review these. They want to make sure that they get it right. I will be surprised if this call doesn't stand.
One other tidbit, if Geraldo is going to be ejected from this game for targeting, they're already without Brody Hoying in the back end of this defense, and he is one of their best players back there as well. So that would be a double whammy for this Eastern Michigan defense. This is what the booth is looking at right now, the replay booth here at Commonwealth Stadium. That is coming off their monitor. They continue to look back and check every angle they possibly can.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Dave, already a thin secondary, and Eastern Michigan, you know, you're going to know where they're lining up. They don't do a whole lot of things defensively. They're going to stay 4 downs. They're going to be in an over front. That means they'll have a 3 technique.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Number 32 is disqualified.
And without Brody Hoying, who, as you mentioned, Dave, is a big playmaker for the Eagle defense. And you can see Walker getting worked on a little bit. That's a blow as well to Kentucky, especially to their special teams, a big contributor in the return game. But that hurts the depth of the Eagles in their back end because they play with nickel personnel as a rule. They have 5 defensive backs out on the field at all times.
What a job by Walker, though, to hold on to that football on that collision.
That's a great point. Yeah, I mean, and I think he knew he was going to take a shot. Obviously, wouldn't anticipate it being high like that. Big blow, but was able to maintain control of the football.
So first down and 10 inside the 30-yard line. Ball off the right side for Snell, and he'll take it to the 25, gain of 3.5. Mike Spearman with another tackle for Eastern Michigan. 4 of those already here in a quarter and change.
You can see Kentucky, you know, it's not just at the center position, rolling a couple other guys along that offensive front. And they know that they're going to have to deal with injuries. Already have this year. Lost starting left tackle, or would be starting left tackle, Cole Mosier, during summer camp.
Little screen. Well played by the Eagles. Saheem King brought down. Loss of 3 on the play.
That's good film study that time by the Eagle defense. I saw that play last week versus Florida. They have an orbit motion. Motion man comes behind the quarterback. Johnson looks his way, but comes back to the slow screen. And it was very well played by Jason Beck, the veteran linebacker.
35 career starts for Beck. Had 104 total tackles last year, which was second on this team. Now it's 3rd down, and timeout taken by Eastern Michigan. That'll be their last timeout.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. And I don't share it with Mom, right, Mom? Right.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
I used to love going to sports bars for Honey Barbecue Chicken, but now I'm doing the dad thing.
Yeah, he is.
So we go to DQ for the Honey Barbecue Glazed Chicken Strip Basket. I like this dad thing.
I like this Blizzard thing.
The sauced and tossed Honey Barbecue Glazed Chicken Strip Basket, only at DQ.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. And I don't share it with Mom, right, Mom? Right.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Hope you're ready for another SEC Saturday night. Jake Bentley, he has re-energized the team, the offense. That's Christian Kirk. He might go.
SEC Saturday Night, presented by Holiday Inn Express, South Carolina, Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
Technology is all around us. Stay connected to it all with Spectrum. Now you can experience the full power of Spectrum in your home by adding internet and voice to your current TV service. Just call 844-569-1999. Spectrum Internet has the fastest starting speeds for the price. That means there's enough bandwidth to keep everyone's devices connected without data caps, and we'll provide the modem for free. So you can surf and stream for only $29.99 per month when you call 844-569-1999. Spectrum Voice lets you talk all you want to family and friends in the US, Canada, Mexico, and more with unlimited nationwide calling. And there are no added taxes or fees. All this for only $19.99 per month. In a world filled with technology, Spectrum delivers. No contracts and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Add Spectrum Internet and voice to your current TV service. Call 844-569-1999.
SEC Network Football is brought to you by Pilot Flying J, the official travel center fueling the SEC.
You know, it's Kentucky, so you know they love their hoops, but I mean, this is just nuts. This was Wednesday at 5 a.m. Fans began camping outside of Memorial Coliseum trying to get tickets to this year's Big Blue Madness. Over 1,000 fans, 295 tents camped out until tickets were distributed yesterday. It was just a crazy event. Big Blue Madness will be on October 13th, right here on the SEC Network at 7 o'clock Eastern. Some bad news, though, for Kentucky to get the season started. Their freshman, Jared Vanderbilt, will be out for 3 months with a foot injury. Not a good way to start off your practice season. Here's Johnson. That was a good way to play pitch and catch on third down. First down for Kentucky inside the 10. That goes to Ross, a pickup of 24.
And K'Wan Ross is a guy that they've kind of found him in their receiving core. He's hard to miss. He's about 6'6", 230 pounds, a huge target. And they've been looking for number 19 a lot more frequently this year. Didn't see a ton of targets a season ago.
How about Johnson? 7 out of 7, 91 yards this afternoon. First and goal. They'll spot it right at the 5. Lost a yard or two as Kings. They may say there's a loose ball. Eastern Michigan's got their arm up like there was a loose football. Granger, the first one there. He'll be credited with the tackle behind the line.
There was kind of a scrum. I mean, you could see Snell slam it up in there. Wasn't able to get much advancement of the football. These defenders, if they can touch the ball, they're going to try to rake it out. That ball's definitely out. But the official said that the whistle blew.
Little play action to the end zone. Batted out of there at the last moment. They were trying to hit C.J. Conrad, but Kevin McGill making a great play to get it away from Conrad.
Well, they know Kentucky's going to try to find their tight ends. Already a red zone touchdown for Greg Hart, and C.J. Conrad knew he had that for 6. McGill did an excellent job of extending and batting that ball away.
First incomplete pass for Steven Johnson. Now it's third down and goal from the 8. Wide open back of the end zone. Touchdown, Kentucky. That one goes to Richardson. And Kentucky takes a 13-7 lead. Taven Richardson, his first touchdown reception of the season, his 9th catch overall. McGinnis to try to make it a 14-7 game.
Steven Johnson, he had that one incomplete pass and immediately makes amends. Able to find Taven Richardson in the end zone. They're needing receivers to step up, and Richardson answers the call.
For fast relief from sinus and allergy symptoms without drugs, get Navage.
This time of year, I get so stuffed up, but Navage flushes my sinuses so I can breathe again.
Navage uses gentle suction to remove allergens, germs, and pollutants. It's the only nasal irrigator with suction.
My doctor recommends Navage to breathe better through my nose, and it works. Congestion's gone, and I feel great.
And Navage is so much easier than a neti pot.
To breathe better without drugs and a 30-day risk-free trial, go to Navage.com now.
I thought I'd lost my business in that fire, but my agent was there before the flames were out. He said, together, we're going to rebuild. We've got 25 employees who depended on it, and that's all that mattered to me. My independent agent and auto owners made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. Incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there. Auto Owners Insurance.
Dear professional driver, I often get annoyed when I'm stuck behind you on the highway.
I admit, I don't often think about what you do.
But you got the food to the grocery,
which is now in our fridge.
Without you, we wouldn't have
the baseballs for my practice tonight.
The medicine for my wife. Thank you.
Well, an historic occasion 50 years ago, right here in the Southeastern Conference and around this country, certainly, as Nate Northington became the first African-American to participate in an SEC football game in Kentucky's game against Ole Miss back on September 30th, 1967. The week before, he made his varsity debut in the team's game against Indiana. But a statue was unveiled last year honoring Northington. Greg Page, Wilbur Hackett, and Houston Hogg as the Wildcats' first black football players. And the celebration to this weekend and today, they have honored Mr. Northington on the field before the game at the end of the first quarter, and it has just been an impressive sight, and such a bold young man 50 years ago, paving the way for so many others in the Southeastern Conference and around the country as well. Matthew Sexton on the kickoff return. For more on this story, let's visit with Dawn.
Thank you, Dave. I'm actually with Mr. Northington. When you put that jersey on 50 years ago, did you realize the impact that it would have now, 50 years later?
No, I didn't. No, there was no way that we could really realize, that I could realize the tremendous impact that we see today in the SEC. You know, all the teams are just tremendous diversity. The fans are terrific, diversity in the stands, coaching staffs. So, you know, I cannot even imagine that it will be as successful as it has been.
And everyone realizes it. You have your own day now. You have a statue outside of the stadium.
Oh, wow.
What are the emotions that went through your mind today?
Well, you know, it's so surreal. You know, with the statue, Hall of Fame, the recognition, it's been given me. The players wearing my number on the back of their helmets. I mean, that's just tremendous, you know, and I'm really, really appreciative, and I just feel so elated, so great, you know, so grateful for everything that's been done to recognize me, and I'm just thankful to the university, to the athletic director, to the fans, to the team, you know, just so much recognition that I'm just overwhelmed.
Well, Nate Northington, thank you. We're thankful you spent some time with us here.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Guys.
Nate looks like he could still play a little ball, doesn't he?
You're not kidding. You're exactly right.
Big smile on his face. Not many smiles right now as Josh Allen being attended to.
We talked about Josh Allen earlier in this game. He and Denzel Ware, both of them, when they're lined up on the opposite ends of that defensive front, can be formidable. You see the staff working on him now.
It's good enough, so that's good.
Game day brings out the best in all of us. Regions, every day is game day.
You think it's just 5 guys between you and that rim? Try 500. Because for every guy you beat, there's 100 more out there with your same 5, working on your same moves, all trying to steal your glory. So if you want to be the one and only, and not just one of many, give that extra ounce. It might just be the one that all the others don't. Gatorade. Rehydrate, replenish, and refuel.
Remember that accident I got in with the pole and I had to make a claim and all that? Is that whole thing still dragging on? No, I took some pics with the app and filed a claim. But you know how they send you money to cover repairs and...
It took forever to pay you, right?
No, I got paid right away. But at the very end of it all, my agent wouldn't even call you back, right? No, she called to see if I was happy. But if I wasn't happy with my claim experience, for any reason, they'd give me my money back. No questions asked. Can you believe that? No.
The claim satisfaction guarantee, only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
This season marks nearly 85 years of SEC tradition. At Johnsonville, we respect heritage. We've been making premium sausage since 1945. We're heading back to SEC country to earn our fans. On every campus, at every tailgate, every big game, all the way to the championship. Get fired up for game day, made the Johnsonville way.
If you're going to be on this team, being ready won't cut it. You've got to be the readiest. Holiday Inn Express, proud sponsor of SEC Saturday Night on the SEC Network.
If you want in the playoff, you got to win the SEC. Whoa! So who's in? Whoa, it's going to be a crazy season.
The college football playoff on ESPN.
So who's in?
Dory Noka in studio. It's getting ugly in Knoxville right now, guys. Jake Fromm for the Dogs from the 9 scampers in his first career rushing touchdown. Then after a Tennessee pick, Fromm again, this time from 4 yards out, his first 2 career rushing touchdowns. 24-zip first half, guys.
Oof. Dory going to get a little testy this week in Knoxville, perhaps.
Yeah.
Unless Tennessee can find a way. There's a guy, Josh Allen, and that's a big story. One of the best pass rushers in this conference. Injured on that last play. That pass is caught. A little razzle-dazzle from the Eagles. Sexton makes the catch. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, backwards pass initially.
Yeah, Newplow makes the catch. And Dooley Aristide makes the throw, and Eastern Michigan shocking Kentucky and the fans here inside Kroger Field.
They brought pressure from the field that time. actually caught Kentucky in a blitz, and you look into the backfield, you're able to slide a receiver behind the coverage. Quiets the crowd here at the Commonwealth.
So the point after is good. Johnny Newplow sneaks out, makes the touchdown reception. Jaron Johnson makes the throw. 43 yards.
And it's so difficult when you see it. We've seen a couple of flea flicker plays already this year. Georgia's able to do it last week. They're able to get an opening score, rather, over Mississippi State. And you can see that Johnson's just going to step backwards. And Newplow just leaks right out. Darius West was coming over from his safety position. And it wasn't until Newplow crossed right in front of his face before he realized what was going on. This is a double pass. Newplow able to get in the end zone, and Eastern Michigan, once again, not a lot going on offensively. They had the one-play drive off of the strip fumble by Kentucky, had a short field, got in the end zone, and then nothing was happening offensively until that double pass.
Newplow, the senior out of San Mateo, California, has evened this one up. Bowden takes it out to the 25. Tonight, 10:30 Eastern, our SEC Now team will be back to recap all of the day's games. You can also see it streaming live on the ESPN app. Dari, Coach Chiz, Chris Doring, breaking it down. Those guys.
These goofballs do a good job, don't they?
They do. Who would have thunk it, right?
I'm not calling Coach Chiz a goofball. Those other two.
Right.
Chiz has got some guns, man. I don't want to get him angry.
Injured Eastern Michigan player down on the field. Looks like Tyler Lyle, 43.
You see these kickoff returns. There's usually, it's a 22-car pileup, almost always. Those are some high-velocity collisions that happen. You see Lyle being helped off the field. Freshman out of Kalamazoo, and not putting any weight on that right leg.
Kentucky's had two really good long touchdown drives. They need to sustain that, get it back.
Got to answer it right.
Yep.
You know, you set your defense up early with that short field. Eastern Michigan took advantage of it, and then eye discipline cost Kentucky on defense, and the Eagles able to sneak another one into the end zone, and it's a tie ball game. But watching it, you wouldn't think that would be the case on the scoreboard.
Dump it underneath. That one goes to Garrett Johnson, gain of 6.
Well, that's the discipline, Dave, that we were talking about a little bit earlier. One of those things where you're playing good defense and you give up a big play, and now your offense has to get back out there. You see the consistency that Garrett Johnson has played with throughout his career. Yet another reception, extending his streak at receiver.
He's 6th all-time in receiving here at Kentucky. Loose football. That was a classic RPO, and it looked as though Johnson tried to yank it out of the belly of Benny Snell late. Loss of 5.
They're running it out of the pistol formation. You know, a lot of times Benny Snell is offset, and it looked like they were a little crowded right there at the mesh point. And that's the difficulty sometimes, you know. Steven Johnson, he's not looking at the running back. The running back has to come to the football. The quarterback's not going to do it for him. That time it looked like they were a little crowded as they tried to handle that RPO handoff.
3rd down. Johnson. Nice throw over the middle. Caught around the 46-yard line. That one goes to Isaiah Epps, the true freshman out of Jinx, Oklahoma. Pickup of 18 yards.
Nice time in the pocket for Johnson. You know, stayed calm, stayed poised. Took a while for the route to develop. Epps didn't break open until very late. Johnson able to get enough on it to get a big conversion on a 3rd and long.
Just a second catch of the young career. of Epps. Steven Johnson going deep down the middle. Up for grabs. Flags come in everywhere. The interception from Kevin McGill. 1, 2, 3 flags.
Yeah, it's pass interference. It's going to be called on McGill again. You know, obviously you can tell it's twice now that Kentucky's been able to single up McGill in coverage, who made a great play in the end zone earlier in coverage on C.J. Conrad. But on this route, you could see Epps, who had a step on McGill, was getting held up. The ball was underthrown.
Johnson has been very effective today throwing the football. 10 out of 11
Pass
for 121
defense,
yards.
number 4, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And as we mentioned, this ball's underthrown. But I don't think it was that contact that's late while the ball was in the air. I think it was before the ball was even released, where McGill was holding up Epps. The ball was so underthrown, he almost did him a favor.
So first down and 10. Just inside the Eagle 40-yard line. Benny Snell picks up 6. Go back and look at that pass interference one more time.
And you're going to see it's going to end up happening. This is the matchup at the top of your screen. There's just there's plenty of contact, but watch right here. You see Epps kind of take that hop and a skip. That's before the ball is even released. You know, he's not trying to jump over a yard line.
Johnson will keep it, and he is swarmed at the 35. Group of white jerseys converge, led by Rockwell.
You know, we talked to Eddie Grant. He says we've got a lot of these where not necessarily RPOs, but even on some of the zone read type looks for the quarterback. Steven Johnson is a good runner with the ball in his hands. He said that they've been about 89% effective on those types of plays. That time, though, probably a misread in pulling that football. You can see that they're not doing themselves any favors. Just these 3rd and longs. This is the worst in the conference at 3rd and 7.5.
Over the middle. Looks like some contact, but no flags, as C.J. Conrad might have gotten his feet tangled up with maybe the umpire. Jason Beck also over the middle. Actually, he just kind of stumbled on the turf.
He's going down, man. It's that darker green turf.
So Austin McGinnis now from 53 yards away. McGinnis 5 of 9 in his career from over 50. From the middle of the field, the kick on the way. It'll be short. Of course, last week, McGinnis missed from 57 at the end of the game. That would have given Kentucky the victory. So Eastern Michigan bows their neck up a little bit. They stop the Wildcats. We are tied at 14, 6:35 to go before halftime.
It seems like every financial company talks about investing your way to wealth. But what about protecting what you're building right now? At Northwestern Mutual, we know the importance of doing both. We combine personalized investment solutions that help grow your wealth with world-class insurance that protects what matters most to you. This whole picture approach is just one of the reasons 96% of our clients stay with us year after year. At Northwestern Mutual, we help you live life differently.
SEC Saturday night. Jake Bentley, he has re-energized the team, the offense.
That's Christian Kirk. He might go.
SEC Saturday Night, presented by Holiday Inn Express, South Carolina, Texas A&M. Tonight at 7:30 on the SEC Network.
At Central Bank, we focus on what's central to you, wherever you are in your financial journey. Whether you're depositing your first paycheck or enjoying the fruits of your retirement, like that guy. We offer.
Or get 0% for up to 7.
Eastern Michigan has had a tough time rushing the football. Only 45 last week.
To know us and let us know what's central to you.
Level up with the brand new Nissan Rogue Sport. With intelligent all-wheel drive and a round view monitor. Wow. Take on today the brand new Nissan Rogue Sport, part of the Rogue family. Lease today starting at just $159 per month or get 0% for up to 72 months on 12 models. Get to Nissan, proud partner of the Kentucky Wildcats.
Go, Big
Eastern Michigan has had a tough time rushing the football. Only 45 last week in that double overtime loss to Ohio. They averaged 95 yards a game on the ground, 119th in the FBS. And they're going against a team that is really good against the run. Kentucky yields just 89 yards a game. That's 9th. Not a good combination for Eastern Michigan. They'll try to run it here off the left side. That doesn't get much as well. Only a couple of yards. Tymir DeBose gets some work as Erickson carries the ball for the Eagles.
Well, part of it, I think, is owing to the depth that Kentucky now has, especially on the defensive side of the football, along their defensive front. Something that the coaches have often lamented. Yet another Kentucky player down. Looks like it's checking on his ankle. And they might need the depth. You know, they've got guys that are able to roll through, especially along the defensive line. As you see, Adrian Middleton, who's been a stalwart in the middle of that defensive front for Kentucky. And I think he's going to be fine. It looked like, I wonder if he didn't get kicked. You see him kind of working on his shin. 6'3", 275, a big body in the middle of the defensive front. See, looks at him. See, it looks like he's going right here. His left leg was kind of hung up. I think it was underneath the offensive guard.
That pass is dropped right at the first down line. Roback trying to hit Johnson.
Roback could have taken a little bit off of that throw. That thing was coming in hot. Johnson had to slam on the brakes. And when we talk about these third downs, it's been difficult on both sides. Yet another 3rd and long. You win on 1st and 2nd. And Kentucky's done a pretty good job. They've been able to get Roback off of his spot, affect the passer with just their front 4.
Roback 8 of 11, 79 yards and a touchdown. That came on the first play from scrimmage for the Eagles. They'll hand it off on 3rd down, and the spot will be right at the 45-yard line. That may be a few inches shy. We'll have to wait and see. Josh Allen back on the field making the play, and they're going to be good enough for the first down as the chains will move.
Well, that's a good way to diffuse it, right? You got teams, a defense that's laying its ears back on an obvious pass down. Not a quick draw play right up the middle.
Kentucky late getting players on the field, but they're able to make the play. A gain of 1. Erickson hit by Middleton, who just left the game, injured, back on the field now. He and Mike Edwards converge on the stop.
You can see Eastern Michigan, you know, they monkey around with their tempo quite a bit. You know, they don't always go fast. They're capable of it. It certainly helped them this year to be able to stay up tempo, but they recognize obviously the challenge before them facing Kentucky. On that previous snap, almost caught the Wildcats in the middle of a substitution.
Another handoff going to Ian Erickson. Eli Brown makes the stop after a gain of 2.
Kentucky's active. You know, they're not going to just sit there and let you tee off. You know, a second down run attempt, and that entire defensive front was slanting towards the boundary from the field right into that attempted play call. We've already saw on the previous third down on a draw play right up the middle, Eastern Michigan was able to convert.
So another third down on this drive for Eastern Michigan. Kentucky looking like they're showing blitz. Eagles pick it up, lofted in the air, and Roback's pass incomplete, looking for Isaac Holder. And now you're fourth down, close to midfield.
Yet another fade route, and that was what Coach Stoops was talking about. We're in the field or off the boundary. That ball can come in on the inside or the outside. It challenges these defensive secondary players. That time Mike Edwards playing it very well. The ball too deep to come in and as a completion, but Kentucky's done an excellent job of defending the fade passes that Eastern Michigan has enjoyed a lot of success with.
Jake Julian to punt it away, and that one will hit it to 15 and scoot into the end zone. That'll give us a chance to visit with Dari back in the studio. Dari, what's going on?
Hi, Dave. Well, it'll be the Auto Owners Insurance halftime report here shortly. Dari, Doring, and Chiz, where we'll show you what Georgia's doing right now at Tennessee. They're at the half, of course, celebrating Nate Northington, 50 years to the day, and closer than we thought.
Predictable after last week's letdown.
Better get it together.
You actually said it would be close.
I did.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Doring knows what he's doing. Ignore the headlines.
How proud was Chris? I sure did. I said it would be close. He was thrilled.
Yeah, he did. He's a little bowed up, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
First down and 10 for Kentucky. 4:06 to go before halftime. They'll swing it near side. That one goes to Juice Johnson. He's out to the 25-yard line. Eastern Michigan got off to a quick start, 7-0, but Kentucky has responded. And coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of Kentucky's Wildcat Marching Band on SEC Network Plus. You can start streaming that now over on the ESPN app. Well, what a gorgeous day here in Lexington. Second down. Inside handoff. Zaheem King. It'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down. Kentucky gave up the football. They had a sack on their opening play, and Johnson lost the football, set up Eastern Michigan from the 20. Their first play went for a touchdown. Kentucky responded with a 75-yard drive to tie it up. Had another lengthy drive over 70 yards to take a 7-point lead. And just moments ago was a double pass from Eastern Michigan that gave them a touchdown to even the score. 43 yards out on that touchdown double pass. Third and short. First down. Garrett Johnson does all the hard work, and the chains will move.
Yet another RPO. And Steven Johnson's just box counting. He's just saying, do we have enough to block the defenders that are lined up in the box? And if you've got a heavy box, you've got 7 defenders, then you flip the ball out to your receivers because you've got numbers out on the perimeter. Great job on the wide receiver screens, just like a long handoff to get the ball on the perimeter.
That one goes to King.
So you look inside. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 defenders. You're not going to hand this ball off. You're going to pull it, and you're going to stand up and just stab it out there real quickly. You've got 3 receivers to block the 3 defenders. You pick up a short yardage play. There's no sense in banging your head against a couple of extra defenders. A running back can make 1 guy miss in the hole. He's not going to make 3.
Second down. Johnson pump fake twice and now is thrown to the ground back around the 20-yard line. That'll be a loss of 9. Figueroa just blew right up the middle to make the play.
Here's Figueroa right here. He's lined up right over Mason Wolf, who's going to be getting some more and more time, and he just beats him on a spin move. You know, guys are trying to anchor down against a big body on the inside. You get beat inside. It's the worst spot that you can lose as an interior offensive lineman, and Figueroa able to get right in Johnson's face.
Third sack of the day for Eastern Michigan. This time plenty of opportunity to make a throw, and that one's almost picked off by Kevin McGill. Blake Bone was the intended target. Now it's 4th down with 1:14 to go before halftime. But remember, Eastern Michigan out of timeouts.
And you can see Steven Johnson. He's not happy with Blake Bone. And you can see the explanation right now. Blake Bone's over there trying to explain to Eddie Gran what he was thinking. There's a reason why the offensive coordinator's not talking to his quarterback. The quarterback was right, the receiver's wrong.
Punt almost blocked. Panton gets it away. Eddie Doherty will let that one hit, and it was probably not a real wise decision as Kentucky will down it inside the 5. That'll go as a 71-yard punt with 61 seconds to go before halftime.
Talk about flipping the field, and you're right. Let it bounce. Obviously lower trajectory. And Doherty, clearly a risk taker. We've seen a couple where you would expect a fair catch, didn't do it, and that time cost his team about 20 yards in field position.
Well, how about the game today down in the Swamp? Vanderbilt was giving Florida all they wanted. And then late on the 3rd down, Gators separate themselves and win it 38-24. But the bad news for Florida fans, Luke Del Rio, who got the start today and looked pretty solid, out for the season with a collarbone injury. That happened in the first half. And then I guess tonight is a game, I think, Alabama and Ole Miss. I just don't know what to make of the Rebels. So that's a big line in that game. And Alabama played so good last week against Vanderbilt.
In what phase would you say?
I don't know. Pick one.
No, I mean, did they add a phase?
They stretched. They stretched probably as good as anybody in the country did.
The pregame looked very strong.
Right.
I got to tell you that the game that I'm interested in is Mississippi State Auburn tonight. Yeah. You know, both of those teams. You know, Auburn. You know, the loss to Clemson, and the offense hasn't been what they thought it was going to be with Stidham in there. How good's Mississippi State, and is Auburn better than anyone's giving them credit for right now?
Questions to be answered as this day unfolds. Questions here. Kentucky cannot get any separation from Eastern Michigan. Tied at 14. They call a timeout to try to get the ball back. Well, if you're just joining us, this is kind of how it's looked so far. Very first play of the game. Johnson has it stripped out of his hands. Loose ball. Eastern Michigan has it. Very next play, Roback would hit Sergio Bailey from 20 yards out. Then Steven Johnson answers back as he hits the tight end Greg Hart to tie things up. 75-yard drive. Then their next drive over 70 yards again. And this one is caught as well in the end zone by Richardson. And then the double pass. Jaron Johnson hits Newplow. And we are tied at 14.
And it really has come down to 2 plays effectively in this game that has set up Eastern Michigan. They've capitalized on both. And we've seen some underthrows ever since that first play that may have impacted Steven Johnson and his throwing arm. We've seen several balls that did not have as much zip or distance that the route would have otherwise indicated.
Loss of a yard and another timeout. So they'll 51 seconds to go, and Kentucky will have 1 timeout remaining. It'll be 3rd down coming up.
How big, maybe one of the biggest offensive plays perhaps if Kentucky gets the ball back, was Panton's punt. 71-yarder to gain this field position. You get a stop here, preserve a little bit of the clock, and maybe take another shot to score before half.
There is Matt Panton, experienced Australian rules footballer. Transferred in from Columbia University. Had a graduate, had a degree at Columbia in psychology. Probably a good week for him. Probably having to break down some guys, right?
Shrink some guys up a little bit in the locker room. Hey guys, let's get our heads on straight. There's not a whole lot of panic, but it's a tight game for sure.
On 3rd down, Roback in the end zone. Oh, he just does get away from a Kentucky defender and completes the pass for a first down. Matthew Sexton with the reception. Pressure came from Josh Allen, who had him in his grasp.
Roback barely escaping his own end zone. Dangerous play, to say the least. Couldn't really come back around, but excellent throw on the move, rolling against his throwing arm to the left. You see the mobility of Roback, a guy that's able to buy a little bit of time, and then was able to jam it in there to Matthew Sexton.
Well, that was huge. I was going to bring up a fourth down if he doesn't get sacked in the end zone, of course. But now Eastern Michigan can run out the clock and get to the locker room all square.
Yeah, you deny your opponent a chance to score there late in the half. And as we mentioned, it came down to that first play of the game. Otherwise, the Kentucky defense has done an excellent job versus Eastern Michigan. The double pass got them into the end zone. And they get to make it into halftime after 2 quarters of play, all knotted up with Kentucky on the road.
You look at the stats, and I mean, there's a reason we're tied at 14. 152 total yards for Eastern Michigan, 156 for Kentucky. Both teams having a tough time running the football. 21 yards for Eastern Michigan, 24 for Kentucky. And we are tied at 14 after 30 minutes of play. That's our score here in the Commonwealth at Kroger Field. Time for us to get it to Dari and the guys in the studio.
It is the Auto Owners Insurance Halftime Report. Good to have you along for the ride. A little closer than most would have.
Most would.
You had a headline in your crystal ball headlines last night. It said Kentucky Blues. Chris Doering, Gene Chizik, Dari Nowkhah. Is this what you were imagining?
Yeah, I mean, it's predictable after the way they lost that football game to Florida last week. The emotional letdown that's got to be there, and certainly against an Eastern Michigan.
Surgeons use a less than 1-inch incision to have you.
Family means everything. Being there for them. Making forever memories.
The effects of smoking could cut that time short, but a lung cancer screening can make a real difference. Talk to your doctor about a lung cancer screening at Baptist Health Lexington. It's 30 minutes that could mean a whole lot more time with the people you love.
It's care centered on you. Visit BaptistHealth.com.
We're back at Kroger Field here in Lexington, Kentucky. Moments away from second half football, tied at 14. Eastern Michigan out of the MAC coming off a double overtime loss to Ohio. And of course, Kentucky coming off that tough loss to Florida. And big question coming in is who would have some of the juice here to kind of get over those losses from last weekend. And well, not much was determined after the first half of this football game. Kentucky's got to figure something out offensively.
Yeah, to me, I think they need to start getting that ground game going. And it's been 4 games coming. Right now, Benny Snell is going to have to get rolling on the ground a little bit. We talked about the RPOs and the fact that those passes are tagged onto the runs. Yeah. I think sometimes you're just going to have to call a run and run it, even if the box doesn't look good, because Steven Johnson, I think there's something up with his arm. Ever since that first play of the game, the strip sack fumble, I think that we've seen some balls from Steven Johnson that did not have the velocity or the placement that it typically would. You got to take some of that pressure off of your quarterback as a thrower. Sometimes that means forcing the issue in the ground game.
Kentucky only rushed it for 24 yards. Eastern Michigan only 22 yards on the ground. I mean, statistically, a very even first half. Total of 153 of offense for the Eagles, and for Kentucky, 156. Wind is really picked up overnight. It's swirling down on the field. And it's at times been a brisk wind. Jordan Griffin will come over and hold it for Austin McGinnis. There is Benny Snell Jr. He'll have to wait till the offense gets the ball before he'll head back on the turf. Good clean kick down to about the 3-yard line, taken by Sexton, and he is walloped at the 15. That's a good way to start the second half. A return of only 12.
Yeah, that was a probably like a Mortal Kombat finishing move.
Zach Johnson, watch this hit.
Wow, that's a collision. We talked about it. We've already seen a player get banged up on a kickoff return earlier in the first half. That was a collision. A running clothesline.
So first half stats. Passing the football for Brogan Roback, 9 of 13, 88 yards. They'll hand it off to Ian Erickson. Gain of only 1.
The first play of the game, this is what we're talking about with Johnson. He's trying to throw it, and you can see it. He walked off the field holding his arm down. So the next possession, they went right down the field feeding number 26. None of these are glory runs. You're looking at it going, why are we seeing some of this? But it's 4 and 5 yards in a clip. And it took some of the pressure off of that guy, number 15, who's been a big part of this offense. And we talked about his decision-making, the fact that they trust him so much. He can pull the football and try to throw it. And when he has, they have not always been on target in the first half.
Roback lost the handle, lost it up in the air, and that one's batted it around and finally hits the turf. Looking for Sergio Bailey. Lonnie Johnson was in coverage, and Kentucky almost had the interception.
You see the would-be pick by Lonnie Johnson, another huge corner that they have here at Kentucky. But you see Roback, he just drops the football. I don't know if he ever had a good grip. He was going to pump fake to the near sideline and then come back. Lucky that that ball bounced the way that it did. If you're not on an artificial surface, I don't think you get that opportunity to throw it.
Nice throw and a catch. Pickup of 10. That'll move the chains. Let's go down to Dawn.
Well, Dave, play smart football. That was the message from Eastern Michigan head coach Chris Creighton. That's what he told his guys. He said he likes his quarterback's poise. He likes what he was able to do in the first half, but he reminded him, don't push it. Make sure to take what this Kentucky defense gives you. Smart football, guys, and we'll stay in this.
Last week, 28 of 47, 271 in that loss to Ohio. Back shoulder throw, pass is caught out around the 46, and here comes a flag. And I wonder if that might not be a targeting call. Antoine Porter made the reception. There was a late Kentucky defender came flying in.
As Jordan Griffin, it looked like, came in there a little bit late. And you hit it. That's the back shoulder throw that, you know, Kentucky had great success defending in the first half. And that's what they were most concerned about. Roback and the rapport he has with his receiving core. It was Mike Edwards in coverage that was underneath the route. As you see Roback, and he's throwing this behind the receiver on purpose. You see Mike Edwards was in phase. And they're late. I think it was definitely Jordan Griffin coming in there.
Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down. The previous play is under further review.
First couple of looks, it did not look like a targeting penalty here at the end. You know, the forcible contact language in the rule, I think, would come into play here. It didn't look like it was much forcible contact involved as Porter was going down. As we've already seen an Eastern Michigan defender ejected for a targeting penalty earlier in the first half. He certainly had those elements. He hit Charles Walker on that one. You see here Edwards tackling. Jordan Griffin coming over. There's a collision, sure, but to me it didn't look like, it wasn't intent for the head and neck area. It almost looked incidental.
Juan Geraldo in the first half for Eastern Michigan, ejected for targeting.
See the back shoulder placement, and Griffin's coming over, and you know, his helmet it definitely makes contact with Porter's face mask. It doesn't look like it's forcible contact.
I don't think there's any kind of launch to that. And I don't think that warrants the targeting.
Well, the replay element, you know, they throw the flag. You want to make sure you get it right, but replay it. It was upheld earlier.
After further review, there is no targeting on the play. There is no 15-yard penalty, and number 3 may remain in the ball game. First down, Eastern Michigan.
So lost in all that penalty talk was the first completion on these back shoulder throws that they said Roback is so excellent, so adept at. And a big first down. You're able to move the football down the field, and you're just shy of midfield now here early in the second half in the tie ball game.
.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Here we go, first down and 10. Eagles working left side. Tough sled running the football, gain of only 1. Dave Neal, Matt Stinchcomb, Dawn Davenport down on the sidelines. Kentucky and Eastern Michigan, two teams that really had tough Saturdays last week. Eastern Michigan losing to Ohio in double overtime. Of course, Kentucky and Florida, 31 straight now for the Gators over the Wildcats. It's been a tough week. A lot of questions these teams had to answer about what happened. How do you respond? And Kentucky comes out here, first play from scrimmage, fumbles the football. Very next play, Eastern Michigan scores on a 20-yard touchdown pass. And there just hadn't been a whole lot of separation, not only statistically, but obviously on the scoreboard, but really in this game for these two teams. They've been very similar the way they have approached today's game from an offensive and defensive standpoint.
Yeah, you know, Eastern Michigan said coming in that they felt like they were too aggressive versus Ohio. They were trying to press the issue maybe too much. We've really only seen them open it up once. It was on a double pass, and it worked. It was what was able to even the score. But otherwise, if they're going to take what this defense gives them, it's not going to be in the ground game. And you've got linked at corner. It's been very difficult for the passing offense as well for the Eagles versus Kentucky defensively.
Lofts it up in the air. And that one is incomplete. Looking for Antoine Porter, Mike Edwards on the coverage for Kentucky. And that'll bring up a 4th and 9.
Well, we asked Coach Stoops, you know, how do you defend some of these routes? And you see Edwards playing the receiver right through his arms. That's textbook. That's exactly how Coach Stoops demonstrated in our meeting yesterday. You see the receiver, they're looking for the ball. When those hands come out, Edwards did a great job of chopping right through the arms of Sergio Bailey.
Jake Julian to punt it away. Lynn Bowden stands at the 10 for Kentucky. Boy, a low line drive kick. These are dangerous if you're a return man. You got to just let that one roll. That was a good job by Eastern Michigan. Kentucky got out of the way, so didn't hit anybody in blue, but a 49-yard punt. Offense on the field for the first time here in the second half. Can they get it cranked up on the ground? We'll find out.
Steve Smith Sr., you ready to be a vendor? This job ain't easy. Those fans there, they're craving Dr. Pepper. Word is you lost a step.
Who said that?
Not me.
So why repeat it?
Because you just retired. Your name ends in senior.
Done.
Wow. Huh?
Check the replay, Larry.
Wow.
Guacamole?
You were showing amazing potential.
Let's go, Dr. Pepper, hip. Let's go.
At Holiday Inn Express, we can't guarantee that you'll be able to contain yourself at our breakfast bar.
Or an egg white omelet. Sup, Lady Bacon?
Fruit? There it is. But we can guarantee that you'll get the best price when you book with us.
Holiday Inn Express. Be the readiest.
You don't think it'll happen to you, and you surely don't think it'll happen twice. I've lost 2 homes in my lifetime. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there. and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado hit and destroyed everything again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there. Auto Owners Insurance.
They used to laugh at us because the places that we lived were different. How they were built, how they showed up, different. A lot has changed since then. Energy efficiency, open floor plans, cutting-edge design. Suddenly, homes built indoors, they're all the rage. Yeah, they used to laugh at us, questioned everything about us. My question is, who's laughing now?
You might see it here. Here. Or here. You might see it pretty early on. You can definitely see it here. Oh, that's a good place.
Also,
anywhere you go.
well, Benny Snell Jr., 1,000-yard rusher a season ago, a new Kentucky freshman rushing record. The guy is just super talented and also very talented catching the football in the backfield. But been a very quiet day today for Benny Snell. They'll need some more of this 2-6 if they want to get some separation.
No question. And, you know, it is